Hi, my name is Mark Edwards. Why study history? Well, let me tell you why I study history. I became a Christian when I was in college, and one of the things that I gained through that was an interest in teaching. Everything that I was learning, reading through the scripture, just really wanted to be involved in teaching that, and teaching at youth group, Sunday school, all the way through college Bible studies. And so that's where I became interested in teaching and thought that I would want to teach the Bible in some kind of way. And so I seriously considered, I was at a state school at the time, and seriously considered leaving for a Bible college where I could be trained, probably not as a pastor, but a theologian. Looked into some Bible colleges, very expensive. Um, my best friend in college, a person who had helped me kind of into those initial kind of growth through Christ, was a history major, and he says, "Well, why don't you just stay here at this school and just be a history major because you can study anything you're interested in. You can study church history, you can study theology." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that." At the time, I also discovered Francis Schaeffer, who was big on convincing Christians that they needed to be involved in fields like philosophy and history and law and what have you. So I was very encouraged to stay. I was an English major at the time. I picked up a history major, and those two things worked well together. And what I studied for a lot of my honors thesis, my senior thesis, was all conservative religious history. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I just knew that I really enjoyed studying church history and theology and studying it through. Um, I started through a historical lens. I had two professors grab me by the arm one day and said, "All right, you're going to grad school, and here's what you need to do to get ready." So I said, "Okay, I guess I'm going to grad school, and here's what I need to do to get ready." I mean, you never know where we're going to end up where we end up. I like to think I eventually owned that decision as my own, but it was not mine to begin with. I needed somebody to come along and tell me what I needed to do with my life. So I decided that I would go to graduate school, and I had predominantly studied people, conservative and fundamentalist church history. That was my own background. Um, and I decided that I was going to study liberal theologians like Reinhold Niebuhr, H. Richard Niebuhr, Paul Tillich, and a variety of other people when I went to graduate school. And so that's what I did much through my graduate training. I studied American religious history, went on to publish in that. I don't really teach it very much in my classes, but graduated from Purdue in 2006 with my PhD. Taught for 4 years at a Ouachita Baptist College, or Ouachita Baptist University in Arkansas, and then came to Spring Arbor University in 2010, and been teaching there since then. I'm a full professor now. So, why did I choose to study history? Why do I continue to study history? I like it. I like it. It helps me understand not just my world, but it helps me understand myself. Um, I know that people will say we study history so that we learn not to repeat the mistakes of the past. Well, not only is that not true, we always end up repeating those mistakes. But it's also such a negative way of looking of the value of history. To me, I study history because I want role models. I want people who looked at life and had different answers or different responses, and see what I can learn with them. I tell students I like to talk to dead people because those make sometimes for some great conversation partners because they looked in the world in a very different way in very different times, and it's important for us to, in some ways, remember the things that have been lost. And the historians, we recover some of that lost experience that can help us live better in the present. I tell students, there's a little catchphrase I give them: we study the past to make sense of the present in order to prepare for the future. We all do this in our personal lives anyways. If you've never read Carl Becker's Every Man His Own Historian, I would encourage you to do so. But some of us do it professionally to help larger populations of people make sense of the present and prepare for the future. Now, that very quickly, that question of why study history is usually tied up with, well, why should someone study history, or even better, like what can I do with a history major? If anyone ever wants to talk about that, please feel free to reach out to me and we can have a personal conversation. But I can give you the common answer that I give to the nervous parents whose kids want really like history and think about studying it in college. What can they do with a history major? And give them the standard answer. Teaching at the high school level is great. Teaching in higher ed right now is a little tricky. Not as many jobs and a lot of people waiting in line for those jobs. But certainly at the secondary, the upper school level, variety of jobs. Law school, history is great training for law school. Government work, nonprofit work, a lot of people in history end up in those fields. I could give you the other answers that you'll find history majors all over American society, from bank clerks to mid-level managers at universities, at corporations. You find history majors all over today and throughout our history. But ultimately, to kind of bring things back around, I think the best reason to study history is because you like it. Because it helps you understand something about yourself. It empowers you both to live better, but also to help other people live better, and to increase your ability to serve others. For me, that was about increasing my ability to try to serve the church. And I think through my graduate school, I had kind of a broader service. Of certainly interested in church history, but I've gained such an interest in so many other aspects of history. And honestly, when I get bored with something, I just stop. I stop researching it, or I stop teaching it, and I find something that I am interested in. And history is so open that you can do that. So that's why I study history. That's a little bit about me. Look forward to having conversations with you in the future. Thanks.